Hello. So right now we will review Eclipse. This review is based on Neon 3, if I remember correctly, and it's made in June of 2017. So if you find some criticism that you find it unfounded, please take into account the date of the review. Okay, so let's start Eclipse. Yeah, it's not the installer is kind of Spartan. I was reviewing earlier NetBeans. Okay, so on the first glance, I was using Eclipse around 8 years ago. It didn't change much. It looks a bit nicer. It has more gradients, but then maybe the framework inside they change. But at least for the Java development, it's not so much change. So I created an empty project basically, but I will create video more elaborate. Okay, so start. So we'll create a package, the start package, and we'll create a class in it. Let's name it program. We'll have a public static void main. Okay, so what shall we do in it? Let's create another class. Let's name it controller. And this controller, let's say it will keep a name and a user and password. So controller, new controller. Okay, so code completion is not as functional as NetBeans one. Okay, so maybe after we will create a class, will become more functional. Okay, so for now, it's very good. Okay, in here the refactoring parameters, it looks they are as many or similar in count with NetBeans. They look a, a bit simpler because in NetBeans there was this deeper tree, but and also I like that the most useful things like rename or extract methods or local variables, these are very often needed. They are here all at once. Okay, so let's create equals, let's use my name again. It has this small aid. Um, so let's use name and pass. Okay, let's control one will give to you this options. So I will create this. Let me see if it gives other things. Control one. So this is very functional. In fact, I have to press too many enters, but it feels kind of good to work. What? Um, I think this is how it's intended to be. Okay, so I didn't save, so like NetBeans, it will show the password. So for now, it's kind of functional. So let's create a Lambda or an interface first. So let's create an interface. Is valid password. So this will be an interface which will be lambdable, to say so. Boolean is valid, and this will get a controller, and we will check against the password. So if you will be an older style of coder, you'll write controller. Okay, so let's declare the interface is valid. This will be our interface. Be valid equals new. Okay, so it generated for us very nicely the type, and let's put like return controller dot get passed will be a password dot equals pass 1 to W3. Okay. Okay, there is no get pass. It's very nice. I think we have the option to create, which is very handy. And also we'll get it all together, the password. Good. So this interface supposedly can be made a lambda, but let's use it first. System. So e-valid is valid, and we'll use controller. Great. The completion was spot on. So let's run it. Good. So it's valid because you have the same password. And right now the tricky part is, let's see if this code will be a lambda expression. Yes, it converted to a lambda expression, which is very, very nice. And it even noticed there is a conflict, so it renamed the variable. So this refactor was working nice. So what else can we try? Let's use the debugger a bit. Let's put, okay, it was very quickly starting. Okay, so I don't know exactly the shortcuts. I think it's F8, no. Okay, so I think it finished. I'll run it again. And F6. I can say that it's kind of bad, and I'm not saying bad freely. It's kind of a bad debugger, but it's on the same level or comparable with NetBeans. Even NetBeans is a bit better, but it's not that good if you ask me. It feels like, at least. And okay, so what's my view about Eclipse? Because I'm maybe biased of getting into NetBeans. Definitely NetBeans has a much direct user-friendly view, when this one is looks like it's for veterans. I'm also not speaking in the vacuum, that I'm saying that Eclipse very often is not only a Java IDE, but it's a real full framework to make many applications with it. So maybe it's not a good idea because it has different concerns. So when NetBeans feels like it was more thought like an IDE environment. As a startup, at least, and things like this, it feels it's a bit slower. I'm running it on a very quick machine, but like something 16 gigabytes SSD, Ryzen 7 CPU. So it is more than quick for most needs. Okay, so based on this review and the real hands-on usage, I will give it a 7 out of 10. Thank you.